First of all, thank you very much for asking me to be here today. And can I say Wendy? Yvonne, sorry. It's one of the most warm and welcoming country that I've heard. I've gone to a lot of events. There are a lot of welcome to countries that I've given, and I think it's beautiful. So thank you very much for that, Yvonne. I've been given 8 minutes. Is that right? Roughly 8 minutes. So please signal when I come to 4 minutes. Because I said to Kathy, I said, well, how am I going to, which section of my story do I tell? I can relate to yours, Sam, about hosting, about home. It's about the feeling of not running, not escaping. My story began, I suppose, as a 7-year-old when I left Vietnam at the age of 7, escaping, running, a cyclone fell, and really thinking I've lost my mother as well in that chaos of that war, and living in. But I found her on that boat when we escaped. Got up there, surrounded by crowds, hundreds of people, and then that boat took us to a refugee camp. So we were in refugee camps for about 4 years, and I couldn't speak English. And when we finally got accepted to be resettled in Australia, the first thing that I said to myself is that I have to feel like I belong. In order for me to belong, I had to learn to speak English. So as soon as I got to Sydney, to a hostel in Wollongong, I ensured that I went and learned English. And there were classes there. But when I go to school, I learned very quickly because it wasn't as culturally diverse when I first arrived in Australia back in the 70s. The population were mainly white Australian background, Anglo-Saxon, and so I was forced to learn to speak the language very quickly. So growing up there, I thought to myself, I'm now a new Australian. I've got to embrace everything. Being in Australia, you have to embrace, including learning to eat Vegemite. That was an acquired taste, but I do love my Vegemite on toast now. And grew up in Wollongong, and years went to school there, and then moved to Cabramatta in the southwest of Sydney with my family, my mum and my 2 younger sisters. And like any ordinary kid, went to school, tried to do as well as I could at school. And like most Asian parents, I was expected to study law or become a doctor or a lawyer. And I tried to study law, and I did. I went in to study law for about 3 months at Sydney Uni, dropped out because I thought nothing was not for me, and ended up becoming a journalist. Storytelling. Storytelling was something that I was passionate about because I was looking for stories that made me feel at home. Stories that I could relate to, stories of people who've been the same journey as I have been, escaping, adapting, and kind of trying to rebuild yourself and rebuild your life from nothing. And so I was very lucky. I got a job as a journalist, as an ethnic reporter for Fairfax Community newspaper. That's the first time that Fairfax Community created a cadetship for ethnic people. I thought I was a new Australian, but no, back in the 70s we became ethnic. So I applied, I got that, and I landed a job there, worked there for a couple of years, did really well, and I had this aspiration to do bigger things, to do better. And so I knocked on the ABC, the door of the ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, thinking this is an institution that's got great, will improve my storytelling skills, will give me a lot of confidence to build on my reporting skills. It took me 12 months to get to the ABC, and started from the bottom up again, started as a researcher. And so I was at the ABC for about nearly 2 decades, storytelling, really try to fit into that organisation because, again, I was the only ethnic reporter at the ABC at the time. There weren't many that looked like me or that sounded like me because I had an accent. So I remember when I got the cadetship, and as part of the cadetship, you go through television, news, radio, and so you go out, you do your stories, and come back, and you put your voice down, and that's your training ground. So it was television news, it was a stint on TV news. I remember going out to do a story, coming back, was sitting in the editing room editing with an editor, and then the news editor came to me and said, look, listen, I know you went out to do that story, but you can't actually put your voice down and report on that. I said, yeah, but why? I just went out to do the story. They said, they looked at me, they said, you've got braces on. I said, sorry? They go, yeah, you've got braces on. I said, but it's not showing like, on TV, you can't see my braces because you weren't allowed to do piece to camera, so at least, you just heard my voice. And they said, no, you can't do it, you have to get somebody else to put their voice down. And I thought, kind of didn't take notice of that. I said, yes, okay, that's fine. And later on, I can't remember, weeks later, I found somebody who actually was reporting with their braces on. I'm thinking, hang on, they had braces on. It then dawned on me that I had an accent. So therefore, for ABC News, I did not sound like, a true Australian. I later on moved to radio, and they allowed me to actually go on air, but they gave me a lot of training. And so over the years at the ABC, especially ABC Radio, I was able to develop my broadcasting skills and really, thrive in radio. But then in 2008, was it 2008? Somebody said 2008, 2012. I thought to myself, a very significant year. 2008, I decided I left ABC, launched into politics. Had no skill set, no knowledge, no contacts, no nothing. Started politics for the reason of wanting to represent, I believe, a community that has really been neglected by major parties. And that was where I grew up, in the city of Cabramatta. And I got into politics, became an advocate for diversity, for inclusion, for migrants and refugees and people like myself. And campaigned there, no campaign experience, but did cause major swings. Cabramatta was a very safe Labor seat, so sorry for those who are Labor supporters. It was a safe Labor seat, and I brought it down from 30% down to 1.5%. So that was, was a major swing for that area, and I'm still there. It has swung back to Labor because I took about a year out from campaigning to recover from breast cancer. But I'm back now, and I campaigned this year as an independent, and I've got a 30% swing as an independent in a safe Labor seat, and I'm intending to go back again. So my aim is to get into Parliament, to represent that community there, and to, you don't see that much diversity in our parliaments, but either state or federal, and my aim is to shift the dial. So I think projects like this is about ensuring that there's diversity of voices and representation across our mainstream institutions, across the various panels that we hear and we see that's constantly on LinkedIn, whatever you see. We need to have diverse perspectives and voices. So I would like to really congratulate Kathy for taking on this amazing initiative. And Kathy has worked with me as well on my other projects with Dawn. It's about driving diversity and inclusion in the corporate sector. So so I'm still on that journey. I'm still an advocate. I'm still a champion for inclusion, to make a difference. So I think in this room here today, it's a very diverse audience. So thank you. And I think if we all can step up and be vocal. Who was that kind of you again? That talking about being out there and speaking up, and that's where things will hopefully shift and change. So thank you, Kathy.